Good morning, sweet ladies. Thank you for joining us in Far Above Rubies today. I'm so very glad that each of you are here. Today we are taking a look at Acts chapter 12 and talking about the thought, too good to be true. Too good to be true. Verse 14 says this: when she recognized Peter's voice, she was so overjoyed that instead of opening the door, she ran back inside and told everyone, "Peter is standing at the door." "You're out of your mind," they said, and the story continues. I want you to go read all of Acts chapter 12, okay? The basis of this story is this, that Peter has been put in prison, all right? And an angel comes and miraculously releases him from prison. It is an incredible story that in and of itself could yield an entirely different devotional. But we're focusing on this today, that when Peter was released from prison, he went straight to this home where the believers are holding a prayer meeting. He knocks on the door and is basically saying, "Hey guys, I've just escaped from prison, let me in." And the young lady who goes to answer the door, when she recognizes Peter's voice, is so excited that she doesn't even open the door to let him in. She runs back to those praying inside, says, "Peter's standing at the door." And even though they are having prayer meeting, they are bringing petitions before God together, binding together in the name of Jesus on these issues, these persecution that the church is currently undergoing. James has just been killed. Peter's been in prison. And she says, "Peter's at the door." And they say, "You've lost your mind. Go on now. You need more sleep. You need a little caffeine. It's late at night. Get out of our way. We need to pray. Don't talk to me about the miracle that just happened. We're supposed to be praying." This is literally what happened. The issue is that these folks, these believers, these Christians, these people who are sweet and genuine and faithful in prayer had enough faith to pray. They had enough faith to pray. They did not have enough faith to believe that anything was actually going to happen. They had enough faith to pray, but not enough faith to believe. What do you have enough faith to pray about in your life, but you're struggling to have the faith to believe that God will actually do something about it? I'm going to say that again. What do you have the faith to pray about? What do you have the faith to say, "Oh, Jesus, I trust you. Oh, Jesus, I'm going to just give this to you and I'm going to lay it at your feet and I'm going to leave it in your hands because you are more than able." And you get up from your prayer space and you go on about your day, and that you don't actually walk in expectation that God is going to put his miraculous hand into your life and change your circumstance. What do you have the faith to pray about, but not enough faith to believe God will perform a miracle in? Verse 16 in this passage says, when they finally opened the door and they saw him, they were amazed. They were dumbfounded that God had actually done something about their prayers, that God had actually answered, that prayer was not just a way to unburden themselves, but that it was bringing a request and a petition before the King of the universe. They were amazed. We ask, as a spirit-filled church today in 2019, in the 21st century, we ask, why don't we see miracles like they did back then? Why don't we see the miracles that took place in the book of Acts? Why don't we see the miracles that took place 100 years ago in the revivals that sparked an entire rebirth of faith in this nation? Why don't we see that kind of miraculous happening? And I'm going to tell you what I think the answer is. And I think that we have enough faith to pray, but we don't have enough faith to believe. We don't have enough faith to believe. We are amazed when God does something miraculous in our lives. It astounds us. Instead of us walking in that faith to say every single day, today is the day that God's going to work my miracle. And that might not happen for another year. But what would happen? What would our lives look like? What would our faith begin to look like? What would our faith begin to spreading like wildfire look like if we walked every day like that, like my miracle is on its way. My miracle is coming. God is going to perform my miracle. I have given it to him. I can't do anything about it. My control is not on this situation, but the God of the universe is in it. The God that performs the miraculous is in it. What if we had enough faith, not just to pray, but we had enough faith to believe, that we had enough faith to walk in that miraculous expectation? What would happen? What would our days look like? How would our minds be focused if we walked in that kind of faith? I hope that you will go and read Acts chapter 12 because this is an incredible story. There's so much to take out of it. I wish I could cover the whole chapter so deeply. But we want to make sure that we are walking in faith to believe, not just faith to pray. Prayer is not just a place where we unburden ourselves. It's not just a place where we get to hear the whisper of the voice of Jesus, which is beautiful and yes, is a purpose of prayer. But it's also a place where we begin to believe the miraculous can and will take place in our lives. What would your life look like if you walked in the faith to believe? Sometimes it's not too good to be true. Go read Acts chapter 12, and if no one has told you lately, you are loved and you are cherished and you are valuable. You have beautiful and tremendous worth, my sweet friend, and that worth is far above rubies. Thank you for being here with me today, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. God bless you.